I'm going to venture to say that you eat the right foods, you're full of energy, you go zooming through the day, right? In a good way. Is that correct?
It doesn't really happen that way, but yeah.
Well, that's what you just described to me. You said, if I eat the right food, I have energy, I feel good, I do a lot of stuff during the day, and then the next day, my energy goes down. That's what you said at the beginning of the session.
Yeah, it's like I overdo myself. Like even if I start out like working out and I feel good during the day and stuff like that, the next day I'm down.
Okay. Are you down because you're feeling lazy and not getting anything done? Or are you down
because I'm too tired. I'm too tired. It's just like this constant, like.
And you would prefer it to be an even keel of 5 hours a day, every day?
Yeah, I mean something more even. Yeah, because I mean the way I used to live life, it was kind of like, you know, well, maybe I wasn't, well, no. Well, probably some of it because I had to be somewhere, so on and so forth. So I probably didn't notice it as much. So that's part of it, probably.
You weren't
But at the
focusing
same
on it.
time, the same thing, I'm so wiped out, it's ridiculous. But I think that, like I said, just I know it's getting better, the sensitivities with the food. That was the other thing that I thought about working on today was all my feelings around food, because I feel like I can't eat anything. I feel like I don't know what to eat. I don't feel like I can eat anything and I know I should work on it, but I don't because I feel overwhelmed with it. I'm so tired of eating chicken.
Okay.
My body reacts to everything.
Describe your eating.
Well, a lot of times I eat chicken. Like for quite a long time there, I was eating chicken and butternut squash soup. And then I stopped doing that more when I got involved in this, and I was trying to eat an array of stuff, and that worked out for a while. But then the IBS was giving me more problems. So now it's kind of like every day, it's just like if I eat, of course, my naturopath said I shouldn't eat eggs. But if I eat eggs, they bother my stomach. I get really afraid about eating carbs like bread or things like that because I feel like it, you know, because it gives me yeast infections. I have had, you know, off and on chronic yeast infections over the last year, but have had problems with yeast in the past, which isn't good for the IBS. I'm literally afraid to eat most anything. And if I eat, I mean, I even had pot pies and they killed me. I mean, my stomach was it's still tight from eating a couple of those Marie Callender's, you know, pot pies. I was eating like really good wraps from Arby's, you know, with chicken, like a chicken wrap.
Mm-hmm.
But they just, I guess from the wrap itself, sometimes I would feel okay, but then sometimes it would make me go to sleep. Make me so tired that I couldn't do anything. I'd have to go to sleep.
Okay, so we're gonna in 1 second go regress you back to the cause of your IBS. How long have you had IBS for?
Since 1996.
Long time.
Yeah, and I had acid reflux before that.
Okay, and you've worked on the IBS and on the acid reflux?
I've worked on, like the befores and the well, let's see. I worked on the during the IBS, and then I worked with somebody the other night, and I think they had me work on before. And then, but I haven't worked on the acid reflux because that was the original, starting point on my stomach problems. So, that stayed with me.
Okay,
That's
interesting.
when I started having problems with carbs, just like eating rice.
She does not actually have here anything about IBS.
Who? Me?
Louise Hay.
Oh. Yeah. That big one that Robert has is the one that I found that was closest. I have Ina Segal's thing right here.
I have that also over here. Hold on. Okay, because
having a hard time processing through life.
What my take on your irritable bowel syndrome is.
What?
Okay, being that you've had it for so long,
mm-hmm.
Number one, it is your go-to stress program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if every time you felt it coming on just at a 1 or 2, you started tapping, you started dialing, you started spinning, whichever one of the 3 works best for you, and got
mm-hmm.
it down, you would be able to change the habit of the IBS to the habit of tapping, spinning, or dialing. Okay, now somewhere, this is, in the world according to Ilana, my take on all chronic illnesses. Okay, sometime in your past, you learned that in your case, it would be having stomach issues and having to rush to the bathroom got you out of something that you didn't want to do, or wasn't pleasant, or stressed you out, or whatever it is. It took away the stress from there and put the tension on you in a more positive way, because usually, not always, but usually when a child is under stress, even if the parents are fighting, they stop the fighting and they're like, oh no, what do we do with the child? Okay? So basically, you stop the fighting of your parents. I don't know if this is your case. I'm just giving you an example in general. And now the focus is on you in a good way, where they're trying to give positive attention to help you get over whatever problem you're having right now. Your unconscious mind learned, hey, this is a good way to get out of things that I don't like. And then, yeah.
And the way that I would say that is, the 2 times that it happened earlier on that I worked on both is when I got molested. I didn't have IBS, but I, was sick for a month and stayed home from school because I didn't know how to deal with it.
Right, okay.
So yeah, it was an escape because I didn't know how to deal with it. And that's what the one book said, and that was what was spoken, didn't know how to process life. So, and then the second time I had stomach issues, that was an ulcer, which I don't know if the first one was an ulcer or not. But I really don't even know what I was going through, and I've worked on it, but that's some of the things. I don't think we necessarily work on we worked on what was going on during, but not before and after.
Okay, so hold on just 1 second, okay?
I noticed when I was in 9th grade.
Let's just continue with this thought. One more, okay? So we already know that you use the stomach issues as a way of not dealing with something that you needed to deal with, right?
Yeah. And now that you mention it, when I got the IBS, everything that was going on in my life, I didn't know how to deal with it either.
Okay. But it's become quote unquote a habit, a go-to habit for not having to deal with things that you don't want to deal, whether it be big or whether it be small. It's a type of an escape. Okay?
When I eat, I get bloated. I don't feel good. It's very uncomfortable.
Okay, but the eating is just the trigger for the, how do you say, for starting the IBS. It's not the trigger for why you're escaping. It might be, but I don't know if it is or it isn't. You understand what I'm saying? Your go-to stress release, even though it causes you more stress, it doesn't make sense, but your unconscious mind doesn't always use common sense, is to go to the IBS. And the food causes the IBS. Okay? You get rid of the IBS symptoms, the food won't cause it anymore. You transfer your stress release to be tapping or spinning or dialing, you won't no longer need to have the IBS. Right? And the more you tap in the beginning, the more you spin in the beginning, the more you dial at the beginning, the less you'll have to do it later. Because your unconscious mind gets the intention. Okay, I want to get rid of this habit and install a new habit. Okay? That's in the world of Kung Pilana, and I have found that to be very true in most of my clients whenever they have a chronic issue. Okay, now remember how neural pathways work? Neural pathways that are used over and over are very large. Neural pathways that are not used very much are very small. So which one neural pathways are gonna be your go-to? Big one. You gotta shrink it and make the other one bigger.
Well, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe because I was doing that before. I have a lot of resistance to doing that, and I don't know why.
Okay, because your unconscious mind is saying, we've been using this successfully for how many years now? Why would I want to change it?
Because it's freaking uncomfortable.
But that's your unconscious. Your unconscious is the level of a 3-year-old. Do 3-year-olds think logically?
No.
Right? They want to continue doing what they're doing because and the other thing is that it's your unconscious comfort zone. Not your conscious comfort zone, but your unconscious comfort zone. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
There is the IBS, and then there is the reason behind the IBS. I want you to let your finger point to somewhere in your body where the reason behind the IBS is located.
It's right there on my stomach.
Okay. And I want you to notice there's a color attached to it. What's the color?
Blue.
Notice there's a shape attached to it. What's the shape?
It's a circle.
Is it 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional?
Is it what?
3-dimensional or 2-dimensional?
It's just a circle. So was that 1-dimensional?
Flat?
Yeah.
That's 2-dimensional.
Okay.
Okay. 1-dimensional will be just a point. Notice if there's a temperature attached to it?
No.
Notice if there's a texture attached to it?
It's smooth.
Okay. I want you to close your eyes and go deep, deep down into the center core energy of that smooth blue 2-dimensional circle that's in your stomach. And when you go there, go even further back on the wings of time, through the eye of a needle, back through the years to the very first time, very first event, very first occurrence that has everything to do with that feeling that you're feeling in your stomach. And first impression, are you indoors or are you outdoors?
Outdoors.
First impression, is it daytime or is it nighttime?
Daytime.
First impression, are you alone or are you with others?
I'm alone.
Look at the hands. Are they big girl hands or little girl hands?
Little girl hands.
How old?
Probably like 3,
What's
maybe
going on
4.
what's going on over there?
I'm by myself, playing out in the yard.
Playing out in the yard, okay. And what's going on as you're playing out in the yard by yourself during the daytime?
Well, that's what's coming up for me is I'm by myself. I mean, that's been an ongoing thing for me. I mean, there was definitely times that I wasn't by myself, but I've lived a lot of this life by myself, which is very frustrating to me.
Okay, I want you to go over to that little girl, tell her who you are, make her believe it. Tell you from the future, make her believe it. Tell her that here in the future you have special powers, you can change the past. Make her believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And then ask her if this is the first time she's felt this feeling or if it's an old feeling, like an old friend.
Well, she says back when I was in the hospital, because when I was first born, I was like only 3 pounds, 6 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
I had to eat a lot to gain the 5 pounds, to get to the 5 pounds so I could go home.
And you don't see any connection over there, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. So
Mhm.
go back to that little baby in the hospital who needs to eat a lot in order to be able to go home to her family, be with people who love her. Did your parents love you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, you felt
You know,
love.
my mom does. I don't know that as much as about my dad, but yeah, I know he does, but not as deep as my mom.
Okay, go to that little baby. How's she feeling?
She's hungry and she doesn't like being alone. Being in the thing that she's in, I don't know if it's an incubator or whatever it is.
Tap on her. Have you ever tapped on her before?
No, I'm not sure how to do that.
Okay, so tap on her as you tap on yourself.
Okay,
I'm all alone.
I'm all alone.
She's all alone.
She's all alone.
We don't like being alone.
We don't like being alone.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
She's hungry.
He's hungry.
We don't like being hungry.
We don't like being hungry.
We need to eat.
We need to eat.
In order to go home and be with people, we need to eat.
In order to go home and be with people, I need to eat.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Whatever it means.
Whatever it means.
Whatever it represents.
Whatever it represents.
All the sensations.
All the sensations.
All the colors.
All the colors.
All the images.
All the images.
All the memories that support it.
All the memories that support it.
All the programs that support it.
All the programs that support it.
All the attachments that support it.
All the attachments that support it.
All the references that support it.
All the references that support it.
I need to eat to gain weight.
I need to eat to gain weight.
I need to eat to gain weight and go home.
I need to eat to gain weight to go home.
Eat enough.
Eat enough.
Gain enough weight.
Gain enough weight.
I won't be alone anymore.
I won't be alone anymore.
Let it go.
Let it go.
It's an old program.
It's an old program.
It served me then.
It served me then.
because I was just a tiny baby then.
Because I was just a tiny baby then.
And I did need to grow.
And I did need to grow.
But it doesn't serve me now.
But it doesn't serve me now.
I release the program.
I release the program.
I release the memories that support it.
I release the memories that support it.
I release the conflicts around it.
I release the conflicts around it.
I need to eat and gain weight in order for people to be with me.
I need to eat to gain weight in order for people to be with me.
But I'm not a little baby anymore.
But I'm not a little baby anymore.
People can be with me whether I eat a lot or whether I don't eat a lot.
People could be with me whether I eat a lot or I don't eat a lot.
People can be with me whether I gain weight or I don't gain weight.
People can be with me whether I gain weight or I don't gain weight.
People can be with me no matter what I eat.
I'm sorry, what?
People can be with me no matter what I eat.
People can be with me no matter what I eat.
Or how much I eat.
Or how much I eat.
Don't need to be alone anymore.
I don't need to be alone anymore.
I release the alone.
You what?
I release the alone.
I release the alone.
I release the frustration about being alone.
I release the frustration of being alone.
I allow people in.
I allow people in.
And I don't need the food to allow them in.
And I don't need the food to allow them in.
I transform it.
I transform it.
Into love.
Into love.
Into joy.
Into joy.
Into happiness.
Into happiness.
Into well-being.
Into well-being.
In every area of my life.
In every area of my life.
With every person in my life.
With every person in my life.
And I allow in the fun.
And I allow in the fun.
The fun with all the people.
The fun with all the people.
Let everything else go.
Let everything else go.
I am safe.
I am safe.
Grab your wrist, breathe in. Blow out. Go to your safe place. Make it bigger, make it stronger, and say peace. How's that little baby doing now?
She's much happier.
Okay, what about the little 3-4-year-old girl? How is she doing now?
She doesn't still like being alone.
Okay, tap on her as you tap on yourself. This alone feeling.
This alone feeling.
Her alone feeling.
Her alone feeling.
My alone feeling.
My alone feeling.
Always alone.
Always alone.
Whatever it means.
Whatever it means.
Whatever it presents.
Whatever it represents.
All the colors.
All the colors.
All the sensations.
All the sensations.
All the images.
All the images.
All the pictures.
All the pictures.
I thank them for all their hard work.
I thank them for all their hard work.
They just came to teach me.
They just came to teach me.
Give me a gift.
Give me a gift.
And I got the gift.
And I got the gift.
I choose to love myself unconditionally.
I choose to love myself unconditionally.
Choose to accept myself unconditionally.
I choose to accept myself unconditionally.
Choose to forgive myself unconditionally.
Is to forgive myself unconditionally.
And as I love myself unconditionally.
And as I, what?
Love myself unconditionally.
unconditionally.
It vibrates out
It vibrates out
to everyone around,
to everyone around,
and they want to love me.
and they want to love me.
They come up to me to love me
They come up to me to love me
because they want part of my unconditional love.
because they want part of my unconditional love.
As I have more and more of it for myself,
As I have more and more of it of myself,
I have more and more to give out.
I have more and more to give out.
Because the more love I have,
Because the more love I have,
the more I have to give.
the more I have to give.
But I first have to fill myself.
But I first have to tell myself,
Let everything else go.
let everything else go.
I'm safe.
I am safe.
Grab your wrist, breathe in, blow out, go to your safe place, and say peace.
Peace.
Okay, how's she doing now?
She's doing better. Yeah.
Anything left of the alone feeling?
No, she decided to go in and ask mom to play with her instead of sitting there by herself and asking for what she needed.
What an idea.
What an
Oh,
idea.
tell her how smart she is. Okay, and now I want you to go back to that little baby. And with all the knowledge, all the wisdom that you've gained throughout the years, I want you to tell it to her and let it go right down to the level of her DNA to be expressed automatically, naturally, and effortlessly whenever she needs it without even having to think about it. Just like she breathes without thinking about it, just like her hair goes without thinking about it, just like her fingernails grow without thinking about it.
Okay.
Okay, and now see your timeline from then till today. Notice on this timeline, you have some positive events, you have some less than positive events, the ones that your conscious mind knows about, and the ones that your other than conscious mind knows about. But notice as you go through that timeline, not once, not twice, not 10 times, not 100 times, but millions of times at the speed of thought, all the positive ones become more and more positive as all that new information is expressed automatically, naturally, and effortlessly without having to think about it. And all the less than positive ones, the ones that you know about and the ones that the other unconscious mind know about, start hopping on over to the positive side. And every time you go around again, they grow bigger and bigger and better with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. And notice how your mind is lighting up like a Christmas tree on Christmas Eve with all the new neuronal connections that are being created for these new memories that you're creating right now as you're going through it millions of times. And keep doing it till those new neural connections are so intertwined with each other, you couldn't uproot them or uplift them even if you tried.
Mm-hmm.
You know when you get there.
Well, I don't know how well I'm doing that part, but it feels like what the pattern is that I see is that, I went to my stomach because I didn't know how to talk to anybody or whatever. So then I ended up getting the attention, even though it's not the kind of attention that I wanted or needed. I got attention.
And you weren't alone.
Yeah, and I wasn't alone. So me asking, instead of having to do that, and me asking for what I need instead is what's like ringing through me right now.
Good. That's the gift.
Yeah.
That's what it's been trying to teach you all this time.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I know we haven't touched the memories that you sent me, but take a look in your mind at those memories and see if anything's changed there. And what's changed there?
Yeah, I don't, the new piece list, these memories aren't on there because I've worked on these memories before, but they're shifting compared to in a whole new different way, a different aspect
Okay, good.
that I've already
So,
worked on.
right, but I thought you said you gave me a new list that you hadn't worked on yet.
Right, but no, none of them are shifting.
None of
But
them
they
are
didn't,
shifting yet.
no, but they didn't, but I don't see them as anything to do with this, so.
It doesn't make a difference. Just take a look at them. See how you
Okay.
see them now.
Yeah, I'm not feeling or connecting that any of them are.
Not connecting to what we're working on, or not connecting to the memory anymore.
Well, any of the new memories you said go into the list that I just sent over, right? I
Yeah.
don't see any of them changing, no.
Okay. Anything else on this that you want to work on right now?
No, I don't get anything.
Hit the subscribe button down below and the bell button so that you'll never miss another video. You'll get notified every time I put out a new video. Have a great day.